All right. Well, scary hours. It's done.
The scariest.
It was scary. It turned out to be really scary.
I think Amin had some of his own scary hours in the last week.
Yeah.
Super Bowl, waste management, trade deadline. Was this too busy of a time in the calendar for you, Amin?
Yes, we're in the middle of scary hours, Mace. Yes, scary hours have never stopped for me. Never stopped for Joe Tsai either, I believe. We're both scared.
So we did a little funeral or a celebration of Kyrie Irving's tenure in Brooklyn. What we didn't know at the time, because we weren't fully aware, fully opened our third eye, that KD was gone there too. And according to reports, KD had basically informed the front office as soon as Kyrie was dealt that he wants to be out too. And I think we need to be a little bit more aggressive here as reporters, or a little bit more attentive, I should say, more observant. We need to be more vigilant about our coverage of the superstars, because if you go back, fellas, if you go back to the trade deadline, they're playing the Clippers on the 6th, a back-to-back. Then Kyrie's traded, and then they play the Phoenix Suns on the 7th. Okay. Got my dates wrong here, but I just want to go back. Okay. 1, 2, 3. The Brooklyn Nets are playing the Clippers at home Monday night. And then Tuesday, they're playing the Phoenix Suns, the team that Kevin Durant would eventually get traded to. And I was wondering, where was KD in that game? If you guys pull up the video, KD was on the bench for that Clippers game. And then on the second night of the back-to-back, where was KD? Nowhere to be found. Not joining his team on the bench. And the media, the national media, the mainstream media, didn't make anything of it, as far as I could tell, that KD was missing in action. And now we know that KD had already made his trade demand out of there. We missed it. Well, KD had already packed his bags. He was already done.
It's the cloak of load management, Tom. You can sneak anything past anyone these days, just managing the load.
And now we have to mourn the departure of the scapegoat, guys. The scapegoat, the lost graphic king. He is scapegoat. Yep, that's right. I mean, KD is no longer a Net. He has escaped. And now he's a Phoenix Sun.
Do you think he'll be the league leader in lost graphics in Phoenix as well?
Ooh.
Or does Damian Lee have to carry that burden?
Yeah. See, maybe we're thinking about this all wrong, is that maybe that's what drove him out of Brooklyn. KD was just sick of the scapegoat graphics. The lost graphics were, we did the homework, we did the studying, we did the research. We found out that Kevin Durant, more than any other star in the NBA, appears on the Brooklyn Nets lost graphics when they tweet out, "Oh, we lost 94 to 108." Who do they put on that picture? It's Kevin Durant more often than not when he plays, and they lose. LeBron James refuses to this day to be allowed to be on the lost graphic.
He still has lost graphic virginity. Meanwhile, Kevin Durant's been ran through over and over again.
Torn asunder, much like the Brooklyn Nets roster, which now is comprised entirely of 3-and-D wings. That's it. That's what and Cam Thomas. Let's not forget about Cam Thomas, who scored another 40-point game after we talked about him last week.
You can't stop, won't stop. Rockefeller Records.
I mean, he did get stopped by the NBA after his homophobic slur on national TV, which was not great. But, you know, Cam Thomas, 40 points in 3 straight games. Hasn't been great since, now that he's coming off the bench. And can you imagine scoring 40 points in 3 straight games and then being sent to the bench for Cal Bridges and Dorian Finney-Smith and Cam Johnson? That's not a great feeling.
Not a great feeling. I want to ask you guys something, though, because obviously LeBron last week famously said, maybe it's me.
I heard that.
Responding to not acquiring Kyrie Irving. But after that, the Lakers went out and got Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt and Mo Bamba. And so I ask you, gentlemen, do you think Rob Pelinka walked in the office and said, "Who loves you, baby?" and then saw the news that Kevin Durant went to Phoenix and said, "Fuck."
What is the bar that low for Lakers fans right now? Is the bar that low when people are saying that? It's a solid return. It's Mo Bamba, Malik Beasley, and D'Angelo Russell,
and Jared Vanderbilt.
Solid return, but is
really good. It's a really good deal. They traded away. Look at who they traded away. They traded Russell Westbrook, who apparently is a vampire. We want to get into that.
I'm a vampire.
Do we want to get into that one?
Yikes!
Is he Colin Robinson?
He's Colin Robinson. Absolutely. That's the analogy. He's not Nandor or Nadja. He's Colin Robinson. He's telling really boring stories. He's talking about his clothing line, and people are just falling asleep.